I almost drowned the other day, but I do believe the only reason I'm still alive right now is because of Jesus Christ. The Lord provided for me that day. The Lord protected me that day. And I think He brought me through that situation to teach me a valuable lesson of how short life is, of how our life can just be taken away in an instant. And so I was just going kayaking like any regular normal day for me. I was going to a river about 20 or 30 miles from my house, and I had never actually kayaked in this river, so it was a bit unfamiliar to me, as well as Hurricane Debbie just came through and dropped a lot of rain on Thursday. It rained pretty much all day on Thursday and a little bit on Friday, and then it was dry on Saturday and Sunday. So I went kayaking Sunday afternoon thinking that everything was going to be fine. I didn't think about the flood waters coming through, the water levels being elevated. I didn't think about the water flow, the current of the river being fast. And that is one thing I realized as soon as I got into the water, about 2 feet from the shore. I realized that this river was going to be very fast paced. And so I get in the kayak, I push off from the shore, and like I said, I'm about 2, maybe 3 feet from the shore, and I feel the water current really kicking in, and I'm saying, wow, this is not going to be good if this keeps up like this. And so I turn my kayak around, I'm paddling as fast as I can against the water current, and I can look at the shoreline, and I see I'm regressing back towards the way I do not want to go. And I can see back there are several rocks and little islands, and it's going downstream some, and down in the elevation. And I don't want to go on those rapids, those rocky areas. I just wanted to go for a nice leisurely kayak. So I'm kayaking now diagonally towards the shore, because I'm about maybe 10 or 15 feet from the shore at this point. This water current had kind of kicked me out, and I didn't realize I was not going to be able to overcome this water current. So I was not too worried at the beginning, and so I start kayaking diagonally against the water current towards the shore, and I can tell I'm just not making any progress. I'm making a couple feet maybe, and then about that time I hit this very large branch, and this branch turns my kayak over and knocks me into the water. So I'm neck deep in this water, and I grab the kayak with my left hand. I grab the handle on the end of the kayak, and I grab this large branch that I hit with my right hand. And so I'm kind of I've got my arms over the branch like this, and I'm just sitting there with the water current hitting my back. And so I'm kind of holding on to the branch, and I'm just kind of dangling up under this branch. And so there's a lot of very heavy water currents coming through, and so I'm not able to actually move. I'm just holding onto that kayak, I'm holding onto the branch, and I'm just kind of stuck there. I'm stuck there for a few moments because I'm not sure what to do. I try to climb up several times. I try to get my legs up onto that branch. I try to climb up on the branch, and I just can't get up there. And I can feel after a few minutes of struggling, I can feel my muscles getting weaker, and I can tell I'm just really struggling hard with this water current pounding against me on the back. And so I come to a decision. I'm thinking I might not even survive this whole ordeal. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to let go of this kayak, I think. And so I'm sitting there trying to decide what to do, and I look back under this. There's a bridge, I'd say probably 50 feet, maybe 75 feet from me, back behind me. So I'm stuck on this branch here, and I'm facing this way downstream, and this bridge is upstream from me. So I look back, and it looks like a couple people are also stranded, but they're sitting in their kayaks, and it looks like they're tethered to the bridge, up under the bridge. And I I just wonder what they're thinking this whole time they watched me go through all these things. And I just think, well, maybe they're waiting on a 911 emergency services. Maybe there's a helicopter or firefighters coming. They're going to like reach over the bridge and get those people out of their kayaks. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just wait it out for a few more minutes and see if anybody comes to the rescue. And I'm thinking, well, this whole time I'm thinking I'm going to be on the news probably tonight at 6 o'clock. And I really, I don't want my fame to be this kayaker who was an idiot. He went kayaking when the floodwaters were so high, and then he got knocked out of his kayak right after he got into the water. So I'm thinking, surely there's another way out of this. And so I'm thinking, I think I'm going to let go of this kayak. So I start praying, and I say, Lord, I think I'm going to have to let go of the kayak, and I pray that you'll provide, and I pray that you'll ease up this water. And before I do that, I'm saying, I think I need to get this waterproof box. I have a bag that was tied onto the kayak, and since the kayak had flipped upside down in the midst of all this, and it was still upside down, I couldn't get it right side up because I was stuck in that position on the limb with the water hitting me. And so I reach under the kayak, and I managed to get this bag untangled and untied from the kayak. And then I lift up the bag and realized that either the branch, there's some branches or something that tore it up, or maybe just the water current tore it up, but it's pretty much in shreds. And the only thing that's still left in the bag is my waterproof box with my wallet and my keys and my cell phone. So I'm thinking, wow, that's a marvelous example, a wonderful illustration of God's providence right there. The Lord provided safety for me as in number one, not letting me drown thus far in the story. Number two, he provided protection for my keys, my wallet, so I wouldn't be stranded there. My car was parked just maybe half a mile from where I am right now, and so I'm thinking, wow, this is a really fortunate turn of events for me right now. I did not want to lose that waterproof box with my keys and my wallet, and I think that just shows God's providence through this situation, and I'm very thankful for that. And then I say, Lord, I'm going to let go of this kayak, and if you'll just ease these waters, if you'll just calm these waters enough for me to get out of this water, and I pray these things in the name of Jesus. And as soon as I said that, the waters eased up. And I don't think I've ever seen such a vivid illustration, such a beautiful illustration of God's protection. God's providence and protection were through me in this situation. And I let go of the kayak, and the waters eased up, and I was able to actually reach up to a branch above me and pull myself up out of the water. And so I'm still about 10 feet from the shore now. This is a pretty massive tree on the shore of this river. And so I'm just, at this point, I'm just glad to be out of the water. And so I'm shimmying across these branches, and I'm wondering about those people up under the bridge. I'm wondering if anybody's come to rescue them yet. And so I look back again, and I'm not seeing anybody under the bridge. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe they're just hunkered down in their kayaks. I couldn't really see all that far, so I'm like, well, let me get over to the shore. Let me at least get to the bank, so I don't have to worry about drowning over here, getting stuck in this water current again. I really did not want to get back in that water with the water levels so high and the water current so fast. So I'm shimmying through these branches, a lot of branches, and finally get over to the bank and get through the tall grass that's on the bank, and I finally get through the thorns and onto the actual the solid ground of the bank of the river. And so I'm making it over there, and I'm just thanking the Lord for saving me, for that vivid illustration of his protection by calming those waters was so enlightening to me, so encouraging to me. I had never witnessed such an awesome illustration of God's protection. So I walk over to this clearing where I put my kayak in, and I can see the bridge from that clearing. And I'm looking at that bridge, and I'm thinking, that is where those kayaks were, up under that bridge. And I don't see anybody now. And I'm thinking, that is so strange. And later on, I'm thinking, was that the Holy Spirit? Were those angels watching over me? Did the Lord send some angels? Did the Lord watch me go through that, and he was there to protect me from those waters? Because there have been multiple people drown in this river. Those waters are known to be strong. I didn't know this until after the fact, but I started looking up if there had been any accidents in this river, and there have been people stranded in this river, just like I was, and they had gotten stranded in the middle of the river, and they couldn't get out because the water current was so strong, and people have died in this river. And I was just thinking, wow, that is just such a crazy, beautiful illustration of how God was there to protect me. And all I had to do was ask him. All I had to do was have faith that he would protect me from drowning. And I think also that I took away from this interaction, I learned that sometimes we have to let go of material items. We have to let go of this world so that Jesus can be able to save us. Jesus saved me years ago spiritually, but he saved me physically just a couple days ago in that river. I could very easily have drowned in that river. And I was neck deep in that river. I could feel the current pulling me, but Jesus saved me.